Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a preview of X Money as well as an update on the craziness going on in the markets. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And I'll be live again Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. So please be sure to tune in as we give an update on what could be a very volatile trading day in the markets. But I'm making this video before the stock market opens, with a lot of weekend activity showing beta testers and screenshots of X Money, how it works, what it looks like. So let's get into it. Let me show you the news and the charts. I'll show you what I'm looking at. We start here looking at the current Bitcoin chart, and Bitcoin is at 67.6 right now, right below the yellow box that I have been using to track Bitcoin's price after we had the dump on Friday, weakness over the weekend with a Sunday bigger dump. A lot of fear about oil prices. Those oil prices were skyrocketing. They're coming back a little bit here on Monday morning. So we're getting a little bit of evening out here in the markets, and maybe the risk is a little less at the moment. We had overnight a lot of the U.S. futures were way down, but they're kind of settling up a little bit before the stock market opens. And Dogecoin is right around 9 cents. We track Doge on this channel mostly because of dogs and memes. Plus, X Money is related to Dogecoin, whether you like it or not, because a lot of the friends of X are Dogecoin lovers as well, which I'll show you in a minute. But Doge is hanging right around this 9 cent mark since the big Friday pullback. It's been up and down, and we had one big wick here on Sunday, came all the way down almost to 8.5 cents with a big wick down. Of course, those wicks always take out a lot of the long leverage trades. And then we see a wick up, taking out shorts. That is very typical in cryptocurrencies. And the games with the market makers and the exchanges just continue. So what do we have this week ahead? Big week. Today, U.S. market open. What's going to happen with the whole oil craziness going on? We did have Israel bombing Iran's oil facilities over the weekend. The United States not happy about that, but it is what it is. It looks like more of oil reserves are going to be opened up to sort of settle the spiking oil prices. So that's the current activity there. Tomorrow we'll have existing home sales data. It's not going to be good. On Wednesday we have US CPI, core CPI. If inflation is ticking up, that's not good. Then Thursday, initial jobless claims. That's probably not going to be good. And then on Friday, the US Q4 GDP second estimate. I don't know why they need a second estimate. This is like Q4 of 2025 was so long ago now. Doesn't really matter. But we have PC inflation, JOLTS data. So none of this is really going to be great. Volatility, yeah, we'll probably have some volatility off and on during the week. We look at the S&P 500. Now remember, a year ago we had the tariffs, and the fear of tariffs dropped the markets by quite a bit. It looks like the S&P 500 chart is starting to look the same, where we'll have a dump, a little recovery, and then a further dump. We could see that happening, and Gel is identifying an area for buying stocks, being patient, waiting, looking for discounts, and we could see that play out. We look at the Bitcoin and crypto fear and greed index. We're back down to single digits, still extreme fear like it's been last month, last week, and yesterday, but it's back down to 8 single digits, and that is where we are right now. There's a lot of uncertainty in the markets, especially risk on assets and what's going to happen to them with the war going on. We look at, again, patterns back to 2022, the 4-year cycles. If you look at my X account, I'm at ChrisBax at X. I showed this chart very similar back in January when Bitcoin was at 95K and said we were going lower. And here we are again. We have the RSI oversold here. We had it actually in 2022. We had an oversold RSI. The RSI, and I mean, that was the Luna crash mostly that caused that big drop in RSI. RSI recovered, but price drifted sideways and even lower, and we could see that same thing happening now with the RSI recovering a bit, but price drifting lower. So that is always a possibility. And again, if you go to my profile at ChrisPax, you'll see, again, this was my tweet from January 17th, where Bitcoin was at 95K and I was predicting lower just based on the 4-year cycles. And the Bitcoin 4-year cycles are still in play. And this is exactly what has played out. If we look at the rainbow charts, we didn't get what we wanted. I know, last bull cycle, we hit a high of 126,000 on Bitcoin in October, and it wasn't up here in the orange or the red like people wanted. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're going to go on this crazy run either in 2026. That is not happening. The Bitcoin chart that predicts the future, but does it? Again, this is the effects of the larger market cap of Bitcoin, what I call the law of diminishing returns. We're not going to see the same kind of volatility we saw in previous cycles. And we talk about all of that again in more detail during my live stream. So join in on those. And as far as Doge, we're looking at accumulation areas, and here we are scraping the bottom again, and there will be dips that happen. And for Dogecoin, those are the times to accumulate, because Dogecoin goes on these runs, and when the Doge goes on these runs, you want to be in Doge. That's when you want to have your Doge stacked and ready. No guarantees that that's going to happen again, of course, because it's cryptocurrency, but we've seen it before. So we'll talk more about that. Of course, Dogecoin is related to X money, not directly, because when X money launches, it's going to be fiat only. As William Shatner, Captain Kirk says, right? X money is fiat, not crypto. But he's got these Elon dollars that he's given out too. And how William Shatner got involved in this, I think it's hilarious. Again, that's an Elon thing, and how Elon does these things is crazy. But yeah, Captain Kirk is the one who is getting people to become beta testers. So here's William Shatner's account on X, and he's showing on his account, there's the $ money. Of course, I don't have that here because I am not a beta tester. To become a beta tester, you basically have to donate $1,000 to William Shatner's horse charity. I mean, I like horses and all, but I'm not really ready to donate to the charity just to be a beta tester, because I've got somebody who's doing a great job that I'll show you in a minute, who is a friend of Doge. So we'll look at that in a minute. But yeah, William Shatner, he's the one who's Elon has entrusted with finding people who can become beta testers. Again, it's United States only. You have to be a U.S. citizen. I think there's some talking about, well, you can use a VPN and get around it. But I mean, they're checking these people before they give them access. You got to do KYC. That's just the way it is. Remember, X money is actually being run by Visa. This isn't just Elon and his ragtag team, right? His engineers, like, running it. This is actually a Visa-based thing. Yeah, it's kind of a bank, and us in cryptocurrency, we want to stay away from banks, but this is like a first step. Will they add cryptocurrency, digital assets in the future? I'm guessing yes, eventually we'll get there. But if Visa is running it, most likely it's going to be on a Visa-based digital asset platform. Most likely stable coins still be linked to the dollar and not a true cryptocurrency. But we'll see how all of that plays out. But if you go to the William Shatner account, you can read through all of William Shatner's posts here talking about X money and how to sign up and become a beta tester. I think there are still, in round 2, there are still some opening invitations. There were 166 on Saturday, and now it's down to about 40 or so, the last I saw. So you can check that out here on X with William Shatner. But if you go to Red Ryder, this is Red Ryder, friend of Doge, and he is a beta tester. So he has been showing a lot of details on how X Money works, doing a lot of screenshots, and this is all very interesting. I mean, it's not that much different than what other platforms are doing, but X Money is bringing it all together into one. Like Venmo does its thing, right? And Cash App does its thing, but X Money is, I mean, it's going to be so much bigger than those, I believe. So yes, first transaction complete, receiving and sending money, very smooth. That's the easiest part of it. And then he goes on, and they have a card. So it's a Visa card. It's like a Visa debit card, but it's an X card. So it's all linked to your X Money account. And 3% cash back on purchases, 6% APY interest on cash that you have. Now, how long are they going to keep that 6% annual interest rate? I don't know. That could just be an introductory thing to get people to try X Money at first. Because that, I mean, right now it's 4.25% for Robinhood and their new banking app. And I've been trying that out because I'm a Robinhood Gold customer and did the Robinhood banking thing. Didn't cost me $1,000 to try that. And I've got money working for me at 4.25% interest. It's not 6%, but that's pretty good. And how are they doing? I mean, it's all Visa. You've got FDIC insurance to $250,000, just like you would with a bank. So that's all good. And the cash deposits is interesting. Basically, you can go to like a 7-Eleven with cash. You can give them the cash, and you've got, with your X Money app, there's a way to get that cash into your X Money account by going to these third parties. Now, I don't know what the fee is on that, but basically you get a barcode you present to the cashier to scan after you give them cash, and money hits your account within minutes. So Red Ryder showed that, how that works. And it, of course, says my bank won't be happy with me because it's all going to go to X Money. And X Money is going to run. So basically, when you hit the X Money on the menu and you see your account, you'll have all of your activity, you'll have your accounts, you'll have your rewards, how all of that works. It's going to be pretty standard stuff. You can set up direct deposit. So with direct deposit, you can have money going directly into your X Money account from work. There's bill pay here, so you're going to be able to pay your bills directly through X Money. You're not going to need a bank. This is what this is about, is you're not going to need a bank. But again, it's all being run by Visa, so it's kind of still like institutionalized. It's not the decentralized finance that we would prefer to see in it. And I don't think it's ever going to get there either. But funny thing, Elon Musk sent William Shatner $42 to give out $1 each to each of the first 42 beta testers. And Red Ryder got his $1 directly from Elon through Captain Kirk. I mean, it's all kind of funny. This is Elon, right? And how Elon is doing this. You can do ACH direct deposits. So follow Red Ryder on X. And you can think he's just going to continue to try out everything that the app does and show how it works. Not that different from PayPal even as well. And of course, we know Elon's history with PayPal, all of that. ATM withdrawals, if you need cash from X Money, you just go to a 7-Eleven or a Walgreens or a Wawa or a CVS, and on the app you can do the same thing. And there's probably some small fee somewhere in there, but we'll see how that plays out. And again, there are limits, of course, wires to $250,000, checks to $75,000. Now, $75,000 on a check. Have you ever written a $200,000 check before? You can't do that with X Money. So there are going to be some limitations of what you can do. But again, here's Red Ryder here showing how he can actually use his digital debit card to buy a cup of coffee, and he shows how that works. You basically just use your phone and you tap, scan, and it's done. So all of that, that's what's going on with X money. It looks like it's working. Again, the United States only. There are plans to go international. That's going to build. We'll see how that works. Of course, I say, well, if you're going to do international, you might as well use Dogecoin, because Dogecoin is always one Doge equals one Doge. You don't have to worry about currency transactions across different currencies and doing all of that. It would just be so much easier. Our friend Doge Dipping is also a beta tester now. So Doge Dipping is going to be showing us screenshots as well. So it's all very exciting how X money is rolling out. Again, there are others that kind of do certain things, but on a big social media platform like X, having it all together, that's going to be huge. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about X money so far? Are you waiting for it? Are you going to use it? Or you think this is just kind of a joke, like one of Elon's other things, and you don't care? Let me know. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.